43-year-old Louise lives in Balbriggan in Dublin with her 2 children. She has had psoriasis for over 20 years. Louise believes that having a positive attitude towards her condition has helped her enormously.
I wouldn't say I'm a psoriasis sufferer. I would say I live with psoriasis. There's a difference. I don't moan about it and sit there and let it get me down or let it stop me doing things. I live with it. I cope with it. I manage it. I get on with it. And if you can do that, then you can have a life. Initially it was kind of a big shock and disbelief, I suppose, was the first, what do they mean, this psoriasis thing, what is it? Not understanding it went a whole long way to me being kind of not able to cope with it or not able to deal with it because I didn't know what it was I was trying to deal with.
Getting the correct diagnosis didn't happen immediately for Louise. Initially it was thought she had an allergic reaction to a new kitten.
I did allergy tests, I got cream for the allergy. I even got rid of the kitten because it was getting worse. And after about a year I went back and I said, look, the cat's gone, the allergy's not, the medication's not doing anything, it's getting worse. It took a long time for the diagnosis to happen. From the time I had the spots to the time I got a proper diagnosis with the correct cream was roughly about 2 years, which is far too long.
Luckily for Louise, she eventually did find a dermatologist who correctly diagnosed her with palmoplantar psoriasis.
The dermatologist, the particular one I got, was absolutely fantastic. I can't fault him for a second. I had the information in his clinic, had a nurse sit with me and explain exactly what it was. I also had a nurse explain how to apply creams correctly. I didn't even realise there was a proper way to apply creams. And for information, I think my breakthrough was the Psoriasis Association. And I think joining the Psoriasis Association was the first time that I heard anybody saying, well, you know, that psoriasis is for life. And I remember going, oh God, no. What do you mean it's for life? Surely there's a cream out there. Surely there's a treatment, like I just haven't got the right one. Once I'd armed myself with the information about what it was, how it happened, how it works, then I could go off and find information about it, come to terms with it and start dealing with it, I suppose. You have highs and lows, it's not being easy or positive at all. But I kind of took it all as it came, because I found personally the more stressed I got, the worse my psoriasis got. So I was actually defeating the purpose of not getting stressed and trying to stay calm and focused and not getting too stressed and dealing with it.
Like many people living with psoriasis, Louise tried many different treatments to help alleviate the symptoms.
I went through a series of creams. Sometimes they worked, most times they didn't. Then I did some light therapy. Then I was in hospital for about 3 weeks doing treatments in hospital as an inpatient. Came back out on more creams. I was on medication for a while and now I'm on a new treatment that works very well for me.
Louise is now very philosophical about living with psoriasis. She finds that an open and honest attitude suits her best, especially with the children she meets in her work as a special needs assistant in the local school.
I'm very controlling. I couldn't control this, but yet I wasn't prepared to let it control me either. So it's kind of finding the balance between the two. I think children are great. Much better than adults asking questions. They just come out straight and say, oh, what's wrong with your leg? Or what's that on your arm? Adults will look and stare. Children will just ask questions straight out. And I think if we can get all the children talking about it, They'll then inform all the adults, I'm hoping. They'll grow up knowing what it is, and it's not a big deal. It's a thing that is growing on our skin, grows too quick, and it's okay, and not to worry about it, and it's fine.
Louise now volunteers for the Psoriasis Association of Ireland, where she helps by giving out information and advice.
I would speak to a whole lot of people with psoriasis, and some of them are prisoners of psoriasis. There's no doubt about it. They lock themselves away, don't want to show themselves, won't talk about it. They'll do it quite easily over the phone because they're not face to face with anybody, and they might find that easier. I can't see them, they can't see me. I don't know them from Adam, but it is extremely difficult for somebody that has low self-esteem, that thinks that somehow this is a punishment for them, or that they've caused this, or that they're a bad person because they have it. I can imagine it's extremely, extremely difficult to live with.
Louise's most important advice for other people living with psoriasis is to communicate.
Talk to people, definitely talk. Anybody that will listen, just talk to them. Get your friends, your family, anybody that will listen to you. Join the association, get the information, go to meetings. If you feel isolated, pick up the phone and ring the Psoriasis Association. There'll always be somebody at the other end of the phone that understands. Information is powerful. If you have the information, then you can deal with the problem. If you know nothing about psoriasis, however are you supposed to get your head around it?